very good morning to everyone present here and also joining us online through the different campuses of GITAM University. Hi everyone, I'm Smita Sharma and we are back with the Changemakers series where we try and make sure that the students of the university and also all those watching the conversation benefit from the policy expertise of people in the public eye, of professionals who have had vast experiences and professionals who are really bringing about a change to the different areas and sectors. And so I'm very happy to have a special guest here today in this Bengaluru campus. And a warm welcome, of course, first of all, to all the freshers in the auditorium who have just come in, and congratulations that you could make it to GITAM University, to the Pro VC and to all the other senior faculty members here in the room. I have with me somebody whose CV is a real heavy CV. If I were to go through all the details of that CV, perhaps the session would end. So I'm not going to take you through all the details of the CV immediately, but what we will do is in the course of the conversation, I will keep on highlighting some of his major achievements in his work areas, hoping that you can actually throw some googlies and spins his way, because he's also quite the master of communication, who's known for his witty takes, his sharp retorts on social media, especially Twitter. Mr. Arun Bothra, Senior IPS, 1996 batch. He's currently the Additional DGP CID-Crime and Transport Commissioner for Odisha. He has served in various posts and, in various departments, be it electricity to transport, has a vast administrative experience, which I'm sure you will be gaining a lot from his insights of. He's actually from the Odisha cadre. His columns appear on newspapers like Indian Express, Times of India, Rajasthan Patrika. He has been awarded with the Kathin Seva Medal for working in Naxal-affected areas in 2007, the DGP's Commendation Disc for good work in Crime Patrol in 2009, the President's Police Medal for meritorious service in year 2013, the Governor's Medal for police service in 2019. Arun Bothra ji, thank you so much for agreeing to speak to us and to our students. I must say, I think with all the kind of medals and your achievements, your moustache needs a little more twirling as per the public image of most police officers. But so glad to have you here.
Yeah, thank you, Smita. And I am grateful to GITAM administration for inviting me here. And all my good wishes and blessings to the young students here. And actually, Smita, we keep going to various programs in my professional and personal life, but nothing like it meeting students, nothing like it. So very happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me again.
So many of these students here today are actually from the backgrounds of science, technology, and humanities. But so Arunji basically grew up in a simple Marwari Jain family from the village called Ganganagar in Rajasthan. You went to a government school. You were the eldest of 4 siblings, which included 3 brothers. Tell us a little bit, before we come to your current professional experiences, how was Arun Bothra as a student in school? Naak mein dam karke rakha tha teachers ke? Were you a disciplined student? Were you one of those annoying students who was always raising his hand even before the teacher could ask a question? What kind of a student were you?
Yeah, we are 3 brothers and 1 sister. My sister is very unhappy today that I am here.
It's Raksha Bandhan.
It's Raksha Bandhan, and she was saying that you should have come to Bikaner. My sister stays in Bikaner. Okay, about my student life, I was, yes, very studious. Very studious. In fact, 2 things I can tell you. In my college time, my teacher had banned me from answering the question. He said that when we ask a question, you will not answer. You have to first keep quiet, and then maybe at the end we will ask you. So that one thing. And I remember many times teachers would, because I used to read a lot, and I will be suggesting the students here, this is one of my advices which I want to impart with you, tell you, that other than your curriculum, other than your syllabus, these are the days to read. Like, today I want to read a lot, but I don't have time. I really don't get time. But those were the days when I could read a lot of books. So for you, all of you, I'm telling, whoever has the interest in reading books and whoever is not liking books right now, I can tell you this is the right time when you can read books, and books will help you always, always. Nothing like books.
But those days you were not distracted with Snapchat and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all the dozen other social media applications that is there today.
Social media distraction is there, but again, you know, social media also gives you a lot of different variety of things. It depends on you. If you want to watch all those funny videos, then it is there. If you want to use social media to get, like, for example, I think with you also it is correct, and me for sure, I read news on social media. I don't read newspaper these days, which I used to read a lot earlier. So news is available, views are available, and a lot of nonsense is also available. It is up to you what you want to pick. So social media also can give you a lot of ideas, a lot of views. But of course, again, books are books.
And he was not only reading news, but he was actually also writing news, because not many people know that Mr. Arun Bothra started off as a journalist. So he started off as a trainee journalist first, and then went on to join the newsroom for Jansatta, which was a part of the Indian Express group, and he worked with some of the sharpest editors the country has seen, including the likes of Prabhat Joshi, Arun Shourie, Om Thanvi. So Mr. Bothra, in newsrooms, and I'm not trying to be biased in any ways. Our previous guest in Changemakers was Mr. Manish Sisodia, who also happened to be a former journalist in his previous avatar. So it always excites me to know that a fellow journalist is on stage with me. But in newsrooms, we normally tend to see that a lot of people who are civil services aspirants who could not crack the civil services, they have to do something with all that information that they gained, so they come into the newsroom. But you went from being in the newsroom to the civil services. Did you enjoy being a journalist for the brief period that you were there?
Yes, and no doubt. That, as you know, that's kind of first love kind of thing. And that is why I write on Twitter very frequently, because I think that streak of journalism is somewhere still there, and I write in newspapers also. One of the reasons of joining newspaper was to prepare for civil services. Because if you're already, because in civil services exams, you have a lot of questions on current affairs, GK and all, and you're already working in a newspaper, then the preparation comes automatically. So that helped me actually, and maybe it also helped me in refining my language, and that saves me even today. From when I write tweet, it is very difficult to catch me on a wrong, I don't use wrong words actually, which many people get into trouble.
So, but I do know that you actually wanted to continue being a journalist. It was your father who put his foot down. So today, when you look at the state of news by and large, are you kind of thankful that he made you stay the course and not continue with really
I joined newspaper thinking that it will help me in my studies. But once I got into it, I was very happy there. In fact, I thought to continue. I told my father that I'm no more interested in getting into any job or anything. But we, as I told you, we come from a Jain Marwadi family. We had very good family business. My father had a factory in Faridabad. So he said, no, nothing doing. Either you come back, and I am the eldest son. So hota hai na north mein or everywhere, I think in India, that bada beta hai to father ka help nahi kar raha hai, something like that. So they told me that either you come back to family business. I said, no, I'm not meant for business. So he said, okay, then you get a government job. You get a government job, otherwise you come back, something like that. So, and then he put a benchmark also that you have to become SDM, the state civil services. You get into SDM, and I am happy with that. So then I started preparing and got into IPS.
How many of you aspire to be a government official here? Are there any civil services aspirants in the auditorium? Just one. Okay, there's one. Okay, hands are going away slowly as an afterthought.
Yeah, some people are now thinking that they can.
And how many of you have actually chosen the stream of studies that you want to do and not forced by your parents? That's amazing. I think that is a huge change that has happened over the years. That you are doing what you want to do, not necessarily what the parents are asking you to do. You face those pressures?
I have something here to tell. Something personal, I want to tell you something. This is very recent insight which I had. I'll tell you about my son. My son, he prepared for JEE, right? This is important for all of you, I'm just telling you. sometimes we think that we are doing what we want. You know, this new thing, which is a good thing also, that these days parents don't tell their children what to do. Because everybody tells us, don't force your children to, they allow them to do whatever they want to do. Let them do whatever they want to do. This is how it should be. We all have been thinking like that. So my son is very good at mathematics. He loves computers. And that's how he started preparing for JEE. And he tried twice. He took a break that after 12th and he prepared. Could not crack. He could not crack. And he also appeared for CLAT. CLAT, he scored very well. He scored, I think his rank was 149 All India. And he got into, he was supposed to join Nalsar, Hyderabad. But then he decided to join Calcutta NUJS. So I'm sharing this, which is important here. Today he said that I thought all through I was thinking that I meant for engineering, but I was wrong. We are not saying that he was wrong. We always supported him. ठीक है, तुम engineer बनना चाहते हो, तुम engineer बनो. You work on that. And he prepared for it. But now I think because we totally withdrew from his life, this decision of his life, that what he wants to do. You understand what I'm saying? Earlier, the parents used to force their children, which we understand, which we have heard that the parents are forcing the child to become a doctor or engineer. Then the phase came as a reaction that parents totally withdrew. कि तुम्हें जो करना है करो, तुम्हारा जिसमें खुशी है वो करो. But I think the right balance is somewhere in between. Now after 3 years, he is very happy in his college. He said, I never thought. I thought that I meant for engineering and I was preparing for it. You people never bothered me. You never asked me to do this or that thing. But you should have known as a parent that I am meant for this. We said that we thought that the best thing is not to intervene. Best thing is not to interfere. Best thing is not to push, not to force. That's what everybody said, don't force your child. We said, okay, we are not forcing my child. Let him do what he wants to do. But actually, I think the parents should at least have open conversation. So I'm just telling, of course, I'm sure all of you are very happy here, or whatever you're doing, you're very happy with that. But at some point of time, one should have a reflection also within yourself that is the right answer which I'm giving to myself. Like if you are thinking that you want to become this, are you sure that you want to become this? Or it's a perception in your own mind and you are fooling yourself that you want to do this. This I thought to share with.
I think sometimes you may just need a little external help to analyze your own SWOT, the strength, weaknesses, exactly, opportunities, and threats. So the SWOT analysis may come in from somebody external who is your parent, your mentor, a close friend. No harm in discussing, obviously. But, how many of you watched that movie, 3 Idiots? Okay, everybody. I mean, there is that amazing song in that movie, कि सारी उम्र हम मर मर के जी लिए, कुछ वक्त तो अब हमें जी लेने दो. Did you enjoy your college life, or were you always focusing on getting your grades right, on really, you said you were the first bencher, but did anything change during college?
No, I enjoyed my college, of course. The only regret I have, I could not continue my studies. I did only BA. After BA, I took up a job in Jansatta. So I just feel that maybe if I could study for 3-4 years more, that's the only part I miss. Otherwise, I started working at the age of 19 or so, 19 and a half. So, and since then I'm working. So I'm tired of working actually. But I did not get a chance.
I hope you're not thinking of retirement already. We need you in the services.
But I think these days there's a trend that older people can also join colleges and they can study. Maybe at some point of time, maybe after my retirement, I'll join maybe GITAM and I'll come back.
I'm sure that we would love to have you here on campus.
As a student, I'm saying.
But, is it really feasible to say, I mean, in movies we are seeing this and we tell students that don't get stressed about exams and grades, but frankly, is it possible to translate that into action? I don't remember my +2 grades, frankly, today. If you ask me how much did you score in +2, I don't remember. But when you are there in that moment as a student, for these freshers who have just come in, is it possible to not think of getting good grades?
I have a very clear and strong opinion about this. And I would like everybody, all the students to hear this very seriously. When as a child, I remember in, I think, class 2 or class 3, I had a fight with somebody over a pencil. pencil. There was a pencil, and maybe my younger brother, he wanted to have that pencil, I wanted to have that pencil. And I still remember that. It was a massive fight. And for me, that pencil was bigger than my life that day. Honestly. I could kill myself, I'm telling you. It's a bad thing to say. I could kill myself for not getting that pencil that day. Today, think about that pencil. Does it matter to me at all? At all. When we were in school, somebody getting 60 marks, somebody getting 70 marks, somebody getting that mark, that becomes such a huge thing that day. Today, you don't even remember what was your grade and what was my grade there. In college time, some girl or some boy talking to somebody not talking to that, something, some text going to this person and that person, that becomes such a big thing. People do anything, people commit suicide. We all have seen such things. But if you look back after 5 years, you will laugh at it. मैं क्या सोच रहा था, क्या कर रहा था. So all of you, I'm telling you, yes, wherever you are, do things passionately, but trust me, whatever you're doing here, if you look back after 10 years, you can just smile at it, that what I was thinking that day. You understand what I'm saying? One day that pencil becomes so important that you can do anything for it. One day some mark become, one day some book, one day something, one day some person. But the life is much bigger than that. I want to tell all of you this thing. Today, I even don't remember about my marks. I don't remember who was in my class. Many people I have forgotten. Those days, those things were bigger than the life. Actually, life is bigger than everything, bigger than all these things. So someday, if you feel that ये नहीं मिला तो क्या हो जाएगा? कुछ नहीं होगा. Don't worry. कुछ नहीं होगा. You will do still better. Maybe God has found something better for you. Trust me. When my father asked me, quit journalism, start preparing for UPSC or preparing for state services, I was very unhappy. I was very annoyed. I had a career. My boss told me in Jansatta that why are you leaving? You have joined at such a young age. You will become editor one day. You will be in my chair one day. Why are you? Om Thanvi sir told me. And I was very desperately and was very upset that why my father is doing it. And today I am thankful to him that he asked me to prepare for civil services and the state of journalism, I'm sorry to say, in the country. So मैं सोचता हूँ अगर मैं वहाँ होता तो क्या करता अभी मतलब what would I have been doing in that newspaper? So, but that particular day when my father forced me kind of, I was very upset and he said, nothing doing, I'll not do anything. I'll deliberately fail in all exams to prove him incorrect. You know that. So I'm telling you, जिंदगी बहुत बड़ी है. खुद को अभी उतना stress किसी चीज nothing. Don't get desperate about marks. Yes, do your best. I'm not saying don't do it. It's kind of Gita. It's difficult to inculcate that thing which Bhagavan told to Arjuna. Do your best. But don't really think about that after इसके बाद क्या होगा, उसके बाद क्या होगा. This kind of thing I can tell you. But this is very important. I'm telling you. मैं सोच के आया था कि आप लोगों को बोलने के लिए. Students के होता है when you are student ना. Though that day this, I'm telling you, I'll just tell you one thing. In my history, I was very good at history. And in my class, there was kind of competition between a girl and me about marks. होता है ना जैसे classes में. So that girl got 72 and I got 71 in one particular history paper. And then I actually saw that my teacher has not correctly evaluated one of my questions, which was 4 marks question. 4 marks question. I should have actually got 4 marks more. I went to him. I actually fought with him. He said, मैं change कर दूँ. मैंने कहा मेरे को नहीं करना है अभी change. अभी मेरे को नहीं करना है. आपने मेरा बेइज्जती कर दिया. अभी मेरे को नहीं करना है change. And he used to respect me as a good student. He said, yes, I'm sorry, मेरा गलती हो गया. अभी मैं इसको हाथ से change कर देता हूँ. नहीं करना है मेरे को. And I was so desperate. I actually cried that day. अभी मैं सोचता हूँ क्या कर रहा था मतलब what was I doing that day? So I'm telling you, all of you, please take the life as it is. Do your best, but don't do your best and you will do better everywhere. Don't look back कि आज का ये नहीं हुआ तो मेरा क्या हो जाए. Don't do this, please.
And I think it's the most unfortunate thing is to hear of student suicide, student dying of suicides because of exam pressures. That, reach out to therapy for friends. And just to assuage the faculty here, no, we are not asking the students to get all rebellious. He's still asking the students to study and give it the best.
Yesterday night, Smita, when I landed in Bangalore, I got a message. Yesterday night itself, I got a message from somebody that my daughter has left the house. Can you please help? I immediately spoke. I spoke from the flight itself. He said, NEET exam tha shayad koi abhi. In that exam, she did not do well. And we just told that you are not studying, and she left. And she had left leaving her phone. For 2 hours, for 2-3 hours, I was at the airport itself. I was trying to do this and that, managing things, telling police, check CCTV, this and that, where she has gone. And fortunately, with grace of God, she came back. But think about those 4-5 hours, the parents. Think about, we actually were very, like that person is known to me, and he was crying over the phone. Sir, mera beti chala gaya. So I'm just telling you, all of you, please.
So, coming to his other career achievements, Mr. Bothra, in your civil services examination, share some tips for students who may be interested in civil services. What was the trick question that was asked to you, by the way, in your UPSC mains?
Not many are interested actually here. Anybody interested in policing? Police department? Okay. I'm happy that still some people want to become police officers. See, civil services, I can tell, I'll put it other way around. A lot of people want to become IAS officers, IPS officers. A lot of people are trying, lakhs and lakhs of people. Many people don't try that they think the exam is very difficult. Many people don't try. But I can tell you, those who are appearing, 70 to 80% are not non-serious people. There may be, say, 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs people appearing, but I have seen 70, 80% people are not serious. So if anybody is not appearing or not attempting the exam thinking that it is difficult exam, it is not actually. It is not that difficult. Trust me. I have done BA. I'm telling about myself. In my family, nobody has done matriculate. I'm the first matriculate. I'm the first graduate. I studied in a government school, in a Hindi medium school. I appeared in UPSC in a Hindi medium and got into this. So I actually believe, and I was working also. I was working that time in a newspaper. It's a regular job, regular 6, 7, 8 hours job, and then I was preparing for it. So I feel that if I can do it, and trust me, I honestly believe that I'm a kind of good student, above average kind of thing, not very genius kind of, like it's not like some kind of genius. So if I can do it, I trust, I really, really believe that anybody can do it. So whoever is not trying that, it's very difficult, please do try. 1. 2, when you prepare, you say that I want to become an IAS officer. But every job, the job comes from the employer's perspective. One has to think from the employer's perspective. Like for example, if the GITAM University wants to hire a driver, if they want to hire a driver, and there are 3 applications. One application has come from some student who has done automobile engineering from IIT last year, and he appears that I want to become a driver. He is automobile engineer from IIT Delhi, right? Second person, he has worked in a workshop, this Maruti workshop for 10 years. And third person who has actually become he has been a driver for 15 years. He is driving, he is 12th pass only, but is very nicely driving for last 15 years. Who is going to get the job? The last one, isn't it? The first person might be very, very educated, but will you keep this boy as your driver? He doesn't know driving. He's just learned driving 6 months ago. So think from the government perspective, who is the right person for the government? They are the employer. So people don't think from the employer's perspective. Employer's perspective is that, what kind of officer they want? They want a person who is knowledgeable, who has vast knowledge. Because you can take decisions only if you have knowledge about various aspects. If you want to create something in in Bangalore, the chief secretary or the municipal commissioner, he should have the idea about history of the area, about the geography of the area, about the economic area, demography of the area. So he may not be master of everything, but he has to have a basic knowledge of lot of factors so that he can take a right decision. So that is what the government looks for. An IAS officer or a police officer or a senior officer, he should have a lot of knowledge about various subjects, and he should have second thing, which is very important, he should have a balanced approach in life. He should not be very extreme kind of person. You understand what I'm saying? If you are very extreme on ideas, I'm not saying it is good or bad. I'm not saying that if somebody is a pure Marxist or somebody is pure rightist, it is good or bad. I'm not saying that. I'm saying what kind of person the government would want as an officer. They want somebody who is a balanced person, who can see various things and who can find out a pragmatic solution. So that is what I would say, because see, there are various subjects, lot of subjects, so it's not possible to point out exactly what to do, what not to do. But the person has to have positive outlook. Person should study, that's what I'm saying. You should study a lot of books, lot of different kind of books, lot of different ideas, knowledge about the thing, and then you should be able to find out your own clear thought that this is what is my own opinion about a particular issue, and that should not be extreme. So that's a kind of mixed kind of thing. Maybe it looks difficult when I'm talking like this, but it is actually not difficult. If somebody prepares, it can work.
It leads me directly to my next question, Mr. Bothra, because you've worked in affected areas, you worked in CBI, you worked in CID, but how much of a space does a bureaucrat really have to exercise? You said that the bureaucrat needs to be at least responsible and more centrist in his approach, in his or her approach. But in terms of political differences, political pressures, there are lots of questions that are being asked about India's steel frame, whether the steel frame has become pliant, whether the steel frame is really solid enough still. How much of space and room do you have for maneuvering as a bureaucrat who speaks his mind?
Okay, yes, I was expecting this actually. So, first thing I would say that I come from a state where we actually have a lot of freedom. I come from Odisha, and I don't remember, I'm telling you very, very sincerely, in 22 years of my career, I have not received a single phone call which I have been asked to do something which I did not want to do. Never. Not even once. So in some states, things are better. In some states, things may not be better, may not be that good. But one thing I can tell you, even the political leadership also wants a good, honest opinion. They may agree with you, they may not agree with you. See, ultimately somebody has to sign the file. If a political executive has the power to sign a file, then it is his power. See, I'm an officer of All India Service. I derive this authority, whatever authority has been given to me, because of the Constitution of India. Right? Same person who is the minister or CM or PM or anything, he also is from the same Constitution. So I cannot say that his authority is incorrect. What authority he has, then what authority I have. Constitution is supreme. So if Constitution gives me some power, Constitution gives him higher power. So I am nobody to question that why he is doing this or that. That is for the government, that's for the Constitution and the people of this country to decide. But as a bureaucrat, it is my responsibility to tell pros and cons that ye karne se ye hoga, ye karne se ye hoga. And in my opinion, this is the right thing to do. Then, if somebody takes a call not to listen to me, that's how bureaucracy works. I have no business to tell that why he has not taken this decision which I was suggesting. I'll put it like that. So, as a person, I think every government, every system allows you to tell your mind, of course politely, of course with keeping protocol, of course keeping the dignity of the office. You have to express your opinion, and that authority, I think that kind of possibility is everywhere.
But I think a lot of times the upright officers do get asked that, how can you put up with something that is blatantly wrong, or, say, for instance, in some cases, alleged abuse or misuse of agencies. Should a bureaucrat be protesting through resignation? Should a bureaucrat be standing up against the political authority? Where does the line get drawn when it comes to a bureaucrat not agreeing to what he's being asked to do, but, having to do it?
See, I was in CBI, and the system in CBI is like that. You investigate a case, and the IO gives a report. He gives a report that this is what he feels. It's in his opinion. That comes to the file. Then SP agrees or disagrees, and he has to write that. Like supposingly, the IO has said that 5 people are to be prosecuted. The SP may say that, yes, for 4 we have good evidence, 5th I don't agree. And I think only 4 to be prosecuted. It goes to next level. It goes to JD. After DIG, then goes to JD. Then SD, special director, then to director. So the CBI manual says, director will take a decision what is to be done. Now, director CBI may agree with the inspector, he may agree with the DIG, he may agree with the JD. So my job, again I was just telling, my job is to evaluate and write on the file in clear terms, this is my opinion, this is what I feel, and it goes up. The constitution, the law, the rules, the CBI manual, authority given to them, they will decide what is to be done. So again, if they don't agree with me, and I say that no, I go to media and tell, and I put my resignation that I am not agreeing with what they're doing, I don't think that's the right approach, because tomorrow your inspector can also do the same thing. Inspector can say that I wrote something and my DIG is not listening and my IG is not listening. That's how the system will not work like that. System will not work like that. You have to, as I'm telling you, you may or may not agree with my statement, but the rules which have given us authority, we have we have to abide by those rules. That's what I can put it.
Okay, so abiding by the rules doesn't really make you subservient of sorts, but sometimes it is the sheer responsibility of the office that you're holding. By a show of hands, let me know if any of you have questions at this point in time. Either you've really convinced them all. No questions at all. Okay, we will come back again. Let me in fact ask also Mr. Bothra about when we talked about his roles. He's also been the former SPO of Angul Kendrapada in Odisha. He was the commandant for the Special Operation Group, Anti-Naxal Forces, SP Intelligence. He's worked as IG Crime, IG Railways, IG Economic Offense, IG Special Task Force, IG Modernization. Did you leave anything at all for the others to work on? I wanted to ask you, Mr. Bothra, here in this photograph of yours, this is a slightly older photo, I understand. Of course, now he's the additional DGP. Is there an erosion of trust that has happened between the men in khaki, the men and women in uniform, and civil society? The kind of images that we see today of police beating up people on the streets, or people taking law in their own hands, the sense of mob justice. Why is that happening so frequently today?
Before that, I want to tell all of you here, students particularly, I know Smita for a long time now. We are friends. And we have interacted quite a lot earlier also. So I have come here to interact with you. If you don't ask questions, you don't interact, then there is no point coming here. उनको तो मैं भुवनेश्वर बुला के बात कर लेता, है ना? So I'll be happy if we can have some interaction at least. Now, yes, police. To my understanding, things are improving. You may or may not agree. Things are actually improving now. I'll tell you how. This. The gap between police and the public was always there. It was more during the British time. It has been there for last 7 decades. So it's not that any time police was very popular. I have not seen police very popular anywhere. That's how the job is. There are, I'm not defending anything, but there are some kind of intricate thing there. I'll just put like this. Our society, I was telling this thing to somebody a week ago actually. If a district, a new SP comes in district, and an SHO, these inspector of the area comes in the thana, and he is very kind of, that dabang and singam kind of person, goes around beating people and threatening people and thoda dadagiri karega. Then people actually say in our country, ye bada acha, bada mazboot afsar aaya hai, very kind of meko kind of person. And if a person comes, the SP comes, he is actually a law-abiding person, he respects your human rights, he speaks very nicely, he is actually good to people, then actually within the, not only the department, but outside people also say, oh, bada dila dala hai, thoda dam nahi hai, aisa damdar nahi hai. So this is the image people have, and very unfortunate, very unfortunate. We should actually have a police, I'm telling you, and I'm surprised and I'm shocked and I'm actually sad about it. In Hyderabad, 4 people were killed in a police encounter after a rape case. All of us, we know this. And in many other states, there are a lot of encounters. And there are allegations, and sometimes the allegations are proved also, that false encounters. You pick up a criminal and you just bump him off. Whatever police is doing, people are clapping. People are very happy. People are treating those police officers like heroes. Is it the right thing to do? Is it the right thing to do? It's not. Don't make them heroes. Do not make such people heroes. We should, if we do not follow the law, who will follow the law? But actually the society, the expectation of the society are like that. If some, आपको बताता हूँ, किसी के घर में चोरी हो जाता है, वो उसको किसी को पकड़ के ले, मान लो नौकर पे शक है, they have some doubt on the servant, they bring to the police station. सर थोड़ा इसका पिटाई करो, पिटाई करने से बताएगा, पिटाई क्यों करेंगे? If it is up to, when it is you, your human rights are very precious. It is about somebody else whom you are doubting. नहीं ऐसे थोड़ी बताता है कोई पूछताछ करने से, वो उसको थोड़ा डंडा वंडा लगाइए, वो तब बताएगा, थोड़ी नहीं तो बताएगा. So it's not way.
They are projecting that expectation on the police officer that you will be stern, you will be using danda, because they don't have any faith in the rule of law.
So if the rule of law is failing, it is not only police. The rule of law has the criminal justice system has courts, prosecutors, witnesses, then police, a lot of things. Why blame police only? If people are getting acquitted, people who have been convicted and not getting hanged in Delhi Tihar jail, it is not my failure. Why you blame police for that? It is the collective failure. Improve the system. Improve the system. And if the system is not improving, the courts are slow, judgments are slow, witnesses are turning hostile. Why you expect the police to go and kill people? Why the police should go and kill people? Why should we do this thing? The dirty job? And then you clap also. So that's what I'm saying. The society, particularly young people out there, I tell everybody that please support, please ask for the accountability from the police officers, and the police officers who are violating the law, even in so-called interests of the society, don't do it. It's not good. Not good for the society.
I think, having interacted with a lot of senior IPS, IAS officers over the years, and I know being somebody who is serving in a high role and taking this position and saying it loud and clear, that respect human rights, encounters and instant justices do not work, I think that deserves a round of applause for Mr. Bothra for sure. You will have police officers not really, speaking out clearly and being very cautious lest they offend some political sort of master somewhere, but he's taking that clear stand and he's even getting trolled for saying that out loud on social media.
I'm telling you one thing, I'm adding here one thing. I have been very lucky to detect some very good cases in my state. Trust me, I don't beat up people. I don't beat up people. You don't need to actually. Investigation, if you talk to if you use your mind, if you have patience, you talk to the person 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours, most likely it will come out. It will come out. I have done it. I have done it myself. I'm not telling a bookish thing only. It is possible. The point is that there's an impatience on the part of the police officers and media. 24 घंटा हो गया है, अभी तक नहीं पकड़ा गया है. 48 hours हो गया है, अभी तक क्रिमिनल नहीं पकड़ा गया है. 72 hours and still case is undetected. Then पुलिस बोलता है मारो इसको, मार के इसको ढूंढो बोलना क्या? You understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying allow police to do the thing, let them do the job, and professionally it is possible. It is possible, I believe, it is possible to detect 90-95% cases without any kind of physical assault to anybody, and rest 5% are most likely will not be detected even you assault people. I'm sure about it.
I think that's a very important thing. And in fact, one of the cases that he cracked was actually the parcel bomb blast case. And there's a movie that is being made. I think it's almost ready for release in Odia and Telugu. Atul Kulkarni is going to play the protagonist as Mr. Arun Bothra in it. So tell us a little bit about the case, and when do we see the movie on screen? Do you have a cameo in that?
No, they asked me to appear, but I said no, I will not be able to. Okay, it's a very, very unfortunate case. One boy got married. They got married, I think it was 18th February 2018. After 5 days, they got a parcel by courier. They got a parcel in their house. So they thought it's a gift. And they opened it. It was a bomb. And it went off. The boy died after 5 days of the marriage, 5 or 6 days after the marriage. The girl got injured very badly. Grandmother of this boy, Dadi, she also expired. So 2 people dead, 1 seriously injured, and the house got broken. It was very powerful bomb, very powerful bomb. So, and of course it was very difficult to detect because there's nothing. There's nothing. And when the police went to the courier company, it came from Raipur. The case took place in Patnagarh, in Balangir district in Odisha. So the courier company people said, no, we have no idea. The CCTV was not as usual, CCTVs don't work actually when they require them to work. So there was nothing, no footage in the CCTV. So nobody had an idea who did and why it did it. So that was the case. The local police struggled for some time, then the case came to us. And we were quite lucky, and maybe a lot of good work, hard work, we could detect the case. Now, of course, everybody will be curious how the case was detected. And the accused was a lecturer in a college. I must tell you, he was a lecturer in a college. He was teaching English, where this boy's mother was the principal. So this person was having a lot of enmity with the principal.
Oh, good Lord.
Very unfortunate. And I asked him later, you could kill the lady. You had the problem with the lady. Why you targeted the boy? He said, I wanted this lady to suffer all her life. Because I wanted to kill the boy, so she was the only boy. So I wanted her to suffer all. He's in jail now. Now, very quickly, what happened once the crime branch took over the case, I was IG crime that time. So this person got little worried. This accused got little worried that now there's a possibility that maybe they will be able to catch me. He wrote a letter. He wrote a letter to SP of the district. Okay. One small letter telling that actually he was trying to deflect the investigation. He was saying that there was some love affair or something. Because of that it happened, and because of this has happened. He wrote a small letter on a plain paper, typed letter, and he sent it to the SP. So initially it was thought that it was some prank or something. Then I got the letter. I asked the SP to send the letter to me. He sent me over WhatsApp. That night I read that letter for 100 times. 100 times. And I'm telling you, I read that letter for 5-10 times. Then I slept. Then I got up again. I read the letter again. It was quite a movie thing actually. And I read it again. And by morning I knew who has done it. By morning I knew who has. Wow. I'll tell you how. I'll tell you quickly how. See, it was a small area, very rural area, and the letter was written in English. So I actually called up the IO in the night. I asked, yaar, तुम एक lecturer के बारे में बोल रहे थे. The lecturer had some problem with the lady. Because everybody actually believed it was love affair, something. Because 5 days into marriage, and somebody has killed. Everybody thought that there was some love angle. Because of that, somebody has taken revenge or something. So this lecturer thing was not in the picture. It was just a cursory this thing. So I asked him that the lecturer, which subject he's teaching? He said, English. I said, okay. So then I read the letter again and again. And you know what happens? I'll tell you a very interesting thing. That letter had 2-3 places, can note, should note, will note, that kind of language. You know, these days, boys and girls and everybody writes can't. Everybody writes can't, want, like that. But English lecturers, they have habit to write very, that kind of, You understand what I'm saying? English lecturer will always insist. यहाँ पे मुझे पता नहीं कोई है कि English के नहीं है वो. You write cannot. You cannot write can't, like that. So that was like, this was one clue, similar, many similar clues about the language, the way it was written. The language of the letter itself says that it is written by somebody who is very kind of Puritan in the English. Then morning I asked that fellow to go to college and get his personal file where he is writing his application, leave application and all those. You know, every lecturer has a personal file in the college, the principal's office. And we got those things. Now, how it was detected, we could see that the language, the font, you know, everybody has a font, choice of fonts. Somebody writes Times Roman, somebody writes Arial, that kind of thing. The font size, the spacing, the margin between the lines, margin between the fonts, everything was matching. You understand what I'm saying? So the letter, his formatting of the letter, you know, these margins, left side, right side, up, niche jo hota hai, the language, the font, the size of the font, design of the font, everything matched. So we almost knew that he is the, and then we started working, it was detected. There are a lot of other things also, but that was one key thing, but that letter, we could...
the other details maybe you can watch in the movie, and these are not pro tips if you're planning to commit a crime, please. Remember, just because the police is going to go through your formatting and your handwriting. Just show of hands, if any questions, make sure to raise your hands. Okay, we have some questions there. Can we get mics? There's a girl there in the third last row. We'll go to her next.
This lady wants to become a police officer, right?
And the one in the black there, you'll be the other person to ask. Sure, go ahead. Speak out loudly. Yeah. I think it's working.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Actually, I had a question to ask you. That I am actually from a police background. So, what made you to choose the civil services? Actually, you are not from the background of police, right? So, what made you take that? I mean, which made you interest in civil services?
My father.
What?
So I don't have a police background, yes. But as I told you, I was a journalist and I was very happy there that time.
Yes.
But my father wanted me to join a government service. So I started preparing and I was appearing for various examinations like when many people do. And I got into this job. So
But actually, many government services are there. So, which made you to most interest in this civil services?
no, see, but when you aspire for a government job, you of course look at the UPSC first because that's the top, considered to be the top class. So I also, like at other officers, I also filled up my priorities like IAS or IPS, like that. I prioritize that only. My rank was 109 all over India. All India rank was 109 that year. And I got into IPS. But I can add one more thing here. Any job, government job or even private job, gives you a lot of opportunity, lot of satisfaction if you are doing it genuinely and sincerely. I was telling Smita on the way, I have worked as a police officer for a long time. I was heading a bus company. I was heading an electricity company. Now I am transport commissioner. Trust me, every role I have enjoyed. I have actually enjoyed every role. The only thing, you have to have a positive outlook. I was telling her that you put somebody in any job, you will find people in life, I'm telling you, the seniors will agree with me, you will find people who will be happy in any job, and you will find people who will be crying in any job. They are permanently dissatisfied people. There are people in life like that. So, do try for the top, of course, but every job gives us a lot of opportunities to be happy, to make things better for others. One thing I want to add here, we all, of course, work for ourselves. We study, we prepare for examinations, we pick up jobs, we go to office and do things. But always, maybe at a later part of your career, do things for your society also, for your society, for your community. What makes me very happy about this particular job, see, very few people raised their hands for the government job, for the UPSC. But I will seriously suggest you, the kind of opportunities you get into a government job, yes, in a senior government job, it's very rare to find in other places. So I will seriously suggest all of you, or whoever is interested, do try for a UPSC job. Because see, everywhere you will get a salary, everywhere you will get promotions, everywhere you will get facilities. But this job, you can actually make change in people's life. You can actually make change in people's life. I was heading a bus company. I was telling, Smita also I was telling on the way, in Bhubaneswar city. Today that is the most popular brand of Odisha. People love this thing because, you know, there was no bus service in Bhubaneswar. We started it. It is working very well. Today, every day about 1,15,000, 20,000 people travel in that. Students, women, businessmen, lot of people. You know, I have, as MD, some positive change in people's life. That makes me very happy. So other than your regular job, regular thing which you are doing for your salary, for your own life, your family, this kind of job gives you an opportunity to make some positive change, direct positive change in people's life. And that actually, trust me, it makes one very, very happy.
Can we pass somebody take the mic there? Meanwhile, somebody has a mic here already.
So thank you, sir. I really inspired by your speech, and which will motivate me to get a civil service.
What's your name?
Tejasri, sir.
Tej. Okay.
Tejasvi, let's pass the mic on to the person there, and meanwhile you can ask your question, the one who already has the mic. Yeah, please go ahead, ask your question.
Good afternoon, sir. I am myself, Bhavani Shankar. I am preparing for the civil services last a year ago. I have a small question for you. There are a number of ways to prepare civil services. How can we choose the best way for that?
Like number of ways what?
Preparing the civil services.
To prepare for civil services.
Number of organizations, number of classes. So what's the best way to achieve that?
See, 3-4 things I can tell about civil services, for others also. One, the preparation is not limited to the syllabus. As I mentioned, like if you are reading newspapers, if you are reading current affair magazines, if you are watching news shows, not the Netflix, but spending more time on the news and those kind of things, then you prepare over a period of time. The mistake people commit is that they wait till they are graduate. They say, okay, let me graduate first, then I will start preparing for civil services. That is not the right way. If you are preparing, your preparation has to be a continuous thing. Like for example, if you are preparing for civil services today, then, and you are reading about Afghanistan, then you will know what is happening in Afghanistan today. But if you are reading about Afghanistan for last, say, 10 years, since your school days, since your 10th or 12th, then you will also know when Russia came, how Russia got out, all those background you will know. You understand the point? So when people, because the syllabus is so vast, if you start reading now, it is very difficult to remember all those facts and figures. But if somebody starts early, then it automatically builds up the memory and it helps you in the examination. 1. 2, as I mentioned, you should have a kind of, you should be able to comprehend a lot of things. Like for example, I'm telling you one thing, whoever is preparing, like for example, there's a question about Kashmir. There's a question about Kashmir in examination, 370, right? Article 370, question comes, which comes very frequently. Now somebody might be writing about the legal part of it. Somebody might be writing about the political part of it. But the problem has various aspects. Kashmir problem has geographical aspect, religious aspect, historical aspect, but the military aspect. There's a foreign policy involved in that. There's a political thing involved in that, demography, a lot of things, isn't it? So the answer should have all these points, even if you touch for 1 line or 2 line. If you're doing that, then your answer will get more marks. You understand the point?
Yes, sir.
If you are touching only one part, the legal part, for example, or political part, the answer will not get you that many marks. So you have to have comprehensive views. So I really do not know, because I cleared in 1996. I can't really recommend one particular coaching center or that particular book. That part I will not be able to do it. But I am telling you, if you are studying something, then read various kinds of things. And one thing which helped me, I'm telling you, is your critical evaluation. You know what happens, for everybody I'm telling you, not about civil services only. When teacher is teaching something in the class, or you are reading a book, most of the time we take it as it is. If you are reading a book, or news, so we read it and we just kind of imbibe it, that what is written. But the mind should work at 2 levels, which is possible, not very difficult. 2 levels. 1, I am reading and I am understanding what is written there. And 2, I am also evaluating whether it is correctly written or not, whether there is something wrong or right is there or not. This habit helps in life everywhere. In life, in any examination, any teaching, anything, when you are reading something, see, your teacher is also a human being. Of course, he knows much more than you. But when he's teaching something, your mind should also start evaluating. Don't fight with him, I'm sorry. Don't tell your teacher that you are doing something. No, I'm not saying that, don't do it. But evaluation of analyzing the continuous analyzing of what you're reading or listening or watching. TV, for example, Smita will agree with me. When you're watching a TV, any news channel, now it is very clear. You can understand why this anchor is telling this particular thing, but he is not telling this particular thing, because he has an agenda. He is doing something. So analyzing the information which is coming to you is very critical. So these 2 things I can tell you, it will help in any kind of preparation. But I'm sorry, I cannot tell the names of the coaching center or something like that.
Thank you. I'll have to take the other questions now, right? The girl there on the, yeah, go ahead. And then we'll come back again to this row. Some boy here wanted a question. Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Sir, as you have said...
What's your name?
My name is Samhita.
Okay.
As you have said, it's unfortunate that the public has a stereotypical image of how a police officer should be. What do you think can be done to change that?
How to change that?
Yes.
I'll just take one more question because we're pressed for time. Samhita asked about how can police change the image of the public. Somebody here, yeah.
I'll answer that. I'll come there. Please. Yeah, no, I'll answer that.
Just take the second question and then we'll come.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. This is Varun.
Yeah, Varun.
How do you actually handle political pressure while dealing some crucial case?
Okay. First to your thing, okay? See, I was telling Smita also, I do believe that social media and the awareness among the people, civil society, that can only put the police in the right thing. So, you know, these things when you're mentioning that we are watching a lot of videos and people beating and police doing this and that, you were saying, it is a good thing. It is a good thing. The camera journalism, people having camera, people filming police officers doing wrong things is a good thing. More you do it, the police and officers will be scared of doing wrong things. Because you must have seen some officer, some policeman beating somebody, or some collector. One collector slapping somebody in, I think, Northeast or somewhere. Somebody filmed it, and the collector got suspended. So you have the power. Use social media. More use of social media by people for right cause, right purpose, by civil society, will put the system in a better shape, and ultimately things will improve. Coming to your thing, you were saying about the political pressure, as I told you, I am lucky actually, I am in a state where the political pressure is not much. Very rarely, as I told you, there is no political pressure as such. We are only told to do things which are right. So maybe I am not, I have been lucky that way, that much I can tell you. But But one more thing, you may say that everybody will not be going to that cadre or this cadre. If an officer wants to do the right thing, there is nobody stopping him. Only thing, they may put you in some other place, they may put you in some other smaller organization, smaller post.
They may send you to Kalapani.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. In Kalapani also, there's a lot of things to do. If you go to Kalapani also, lot of good things you can do there also. Why you want to become Commissioner of Police Bangalore only? You can go and work somewhere else. And you will do good work there also.
That's a good one. Let's take a quick question here from these two girls here first. Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. As you said,
Tell your name.
and I quote, you said you wanted to fail the exam and show it to your father. Did you crack it in your first attempt, sir?
No, I said
I'm Shaista, sir.
that particular day I was very angry. I said that particular day I was very angry, and I said I will not pass the exam. But it was, of course, as I told you ना, उस दिन बड़ा लगता है, गुस्सा आता है, but 2 दिन के बाद ठंडा हो जाता है. तो आप लोगों को भी कभी गुस्सा किसी को आए, तो 2 दिन के बाद दोबारा सोचना, फिर गुस्सा चला जाता है. And if you look at that thing after 5 years, you will say, you will laugh at yourself,
Yes.
right? So today, of course, I can laugh at that. So I did not do anything like that, but yes, I failed twice. I got into this thing in my 3rd attempt. We used to get 4 attempts those days.
Okay.
So I cleared this examination in my 3rd attempt, right?
So thank you.
I'll take this question, and I think you had a question. These 2 questions together, and then a last set of questions from here.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Jessica Meher. I have a question for you. Nowadays, all this generation and our students, everyone take up different streams for their different jobs as per their dreams. What in your idea, or what is your advice to the generation, this generation or to the other generations and the students, to make their ideology more strong or more confident, and to be more kind towards the humanity, and that could be profitable, not only profitable, but good for the humanity? Now, what do you want us, or what do you expect from our students, from this generation, to be a good future for India, to build a good community, not just going through, or not just applying for government jobs, even through other streams, like those who wants to go through artificial intelligence, they might create something new which is good for the policies, for finding criminals and all. With such other ideas and all, what do you want, or any advice, what do you expect from this generation to be a good part for, and to be good citizen, forming the responsibility for the future?
I got your point. I'm very thankful you asked me this. This is a very interesting thing. See, one thing, the current generation is way ahead, far more smarter, far more intelligent than our generation. Trust me. And it happens with every generation. So you people are much superior and far more intelligent than us. One. And I'm not telling it just to make you happy. It's a fact. My son is smarter than me. I have no doubt about it. Okay. Yes. And this generation is more concerned about the overall well-being of the society. You people are more concerned about environment. You people talk about human rights. You people talk about a lot of good things which our generation did not talk. We should have talked, right? So as I mentioned to the other girl, think about your career, think about your studies, but whenever you get a chance, maybe at the age of 25, 30, wherever, start thinking about the society also. Our country, unfortunately, we have a society which is more individualistic. You know, we do a lot of hard work in our classes and our marks and our job and competition, and we don't worry about the road safety, we don't worry about environment, the cleanliness. You know, Swachh Bharat, the Prime Minister of India has to tell, PM of India has to tell कि तुम्हारे मोहल्ले में सफाई रखो. Is it not shameful? That's a very common thing, but we do not teach our generations those things, very basic etiquettes, common things. Like, you know, social media, all of you are on social media. I strongly talk about that it is our responsibility to keep the place clean, right? A lot of people abuse, a lot of people stalk, talk nonsense. So all these things, the list is endless actually, list is endless. But I'm very, very hopeful. It is not that I'm expecting. I'm very hopeful that your generation is doing much better, will take the country further than our generation. I'm sure about it.
Thank you, sir.
Can I just quickly mention here, before I take the last 3 questions, that, in 2020, just when the COVID lockdown happened and India faced one of the most stringent lockdowns across the world, there was a case, there was a woman, I think who was in Rajasthan or in Tamil Nadu perhaps, who needed camel milk for her child who had a rare illness. And somehow this message got circulated on Twitter and it reached Mr. Bothra. Mr. Bothra managed to get, amid that lockdown, use the railway services, hire, in fact, try and get in touch with his colleagues in other states, and that camel milk reached the woman. He not only did that, what was a seed, it became a full plant, because today he has a pan-India network of volunteers. You can also be a part of it, which is called India Cares 2020. And I think he deserves a round of applause, his entire team, because all throughout COVID and even now after COVID, they have a promise bank where they take pledges from people, they connect those in need of help with those who can help, and be it in terms of blood donations, sending out medicines, supporting education. He didn't really have to do that given all the multitasks that he has in government offices, but he finds time. He's on Twitter answering DMs personally at 2 in the night, 3 in the night when people reach out to him for help. I think that's a major achievement for you and your young team of volunteers, people who haven't met each other, who don't know each other, who haven't met in person. But they're a wonderful team of people, somebody in Gujarat, somebody in Tamil Nadu, who are trying to do whatever they can to make this a better place. Any thoughts on India Case before I take the last question?
I'll find it on Google also. You'll find it on there. The lady was in Mumbai and we kind of arranged camel milk for her child, 3.5 years old child, autistic child actually. But I'll tell you one more example, one more interesting thing. We got this, our group, India Cares, we got a message from Chennai. There was a child, Yakub or something was his name, 2.5 years old. He was having epilepsy and these fits, epileptic fits. And the medicine was Sabril something. It is produced in France. It is kind of marketed in France. And of course, the flights were closed for a long time. So the medicine stock in India was depleting. And people were not getting that medicine. So somebody approached us that can we arrange, because this child is now in bad shape and he's getting fits. So we started asking if anybody has the medicine. We are not getting anywhere. How goodness spreads, how goodness prevails. Because I am quite active on Twitter and we started writing on Twitter that can somebody provide the medicine. One person from Bangalore city, he sent a message to me that, sir, my daughter has the same problem. And I have this stock for 3 months. Out of that, I am willing to spare 15 days medicine. Can you believe it? Such people exist. 15 days, I can spare the medicine. I'm forgetting his name, the gentleman. And I can give the medicine in Bangalore, but you have to take it to Chennai. I spoke to Bhima Shankar. Bhima Shankar was DCP that time here. I spoke to Bhima Shankar because for the police network, he said, yes, sir, we can pick up. At night at 1, 2 police constables picked up the medicine. One bikers, there are bikers club here. So one bikers club, I don't know which club, they put 4 or 5 bikers. They drove all the way to Chennai, and 2:30 next day, they delivered the medicine. This is how, that's what I'm saying. The young generation, those media, these medium of social media, you can use it beautifully to make things better for everybody. I have at least 100 stories like this, 100 stories, more than 100 stories like this, where I can tell you how social media we have been able to use for very good cause. And of course, I am only part of that. I'm a volunteer in that organization. There are other people also. They are doing much more work than me. We have Savita, Savita and Naman and all those people. They are doing, even today, it is very active. And we really, I'm very proud that I'm part of it.
I would strongly recommend look it up, get associated with it. You know, we are very pressed for time. We'll take the question here, and one question from somebody there in the corner, I think, wanted to ask. Just last two questions, and forgive me for not being able to take any more. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Good afternoon, sir. This is Bharat. Yeah, sir,
Bharat.
yesterday, actually, I watched an interview UPSC, Akshat Jain, 2018 batch, sir. In that, interviewer asked the question, tell me 3 reasons why we should not select you. Did you face any this type of question in your interview? Can you share, please, sir?
No, I don't think. See, I was a journalist, as I told you. When I went to the interview, when the interview board came to know that I am a journalist, they were talking about that only. For next 30-35 minutes, they were abusing the journalists, and I was defending them, and I got selected. And I got really good marks in the interview, 195 out of 250. But there was no tricky question like that. Not in my interview.
But how can they actually kind of find a way in that landmine question if it's thrown their way?
See, I'm telling you, this particular thing is not very useful. It's maybe interesting, but not very useful. But I can tell you something. You know how UPSC pattern is that? There's a preliminary exam, mains, and interview. Preliminary is about 70-80% of the memory. Your memory. They ask you questions about your memory. Then 50% in mains concepts. You should know the concepts. And interview is 20% memory, 80% concept. They will not going to ask you that which rocket was sent in which year. They will not ask such question in the interview. They will ask the questions, the kind of conceptualized question. So that will actually tell about your personality. Nobody can give you this question that this is going to be asked and that going to be asked, right?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
One last question. Somebody here raised a hand here.
Here? Hello. Hi, sir. So my question is, I'm sure you would have come across cases where there's law on one side and then there is millions of people along with your heart on the other side. So when you come across such a dilemma, how do you deal with that?
No, I don't understand.
Law versus morality, you're saying?
Yes.
Or humanity?
Yes.
That
yes,
some
correct.
decision may be legal but may not look morally and humanly right.
Correct.
Yeah, I should go by the legal way, but I will go by the moral way. I have done things which I cannot discuss here, which were not really legal, but yes, I went with something which, you know, I'll tell you something. There are rules, and there are laws, and there is dharma. There is something called dharma. Dharma is above the law. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So if something is pricking your conscience, if something which you think that, no, this is not dharma, I'm not taking in a very particular dharma, the Hindu or Muslim or Sikh, I'm not saying that, but dharma as a concept in Gita. So I'll go by dharma. So I will not exactly do illegal thing, but I have to think that this has to be in line with dharma. That's how I can answer that. I cannot tell you the specific examples, but that will not be correct because it is getting recorded.
That will hopefully be part of a book someday. But, you know, just last two questions, I'm going to use
that lady in yellow, she wanted
Somebody
to ask
there?
something. That
Who's that?
She
Yeah,
got up
please, go ahead.
twice, actually.
Okay.
I should also have some right to ask, right? To select the question. Please.
Firstly, thank you so much, sir, for recognizing me. And I want to ask you that...
You didn't tell your name, actually.
I'm Sindhu, sir.
Okay.
Actually, I'm very interested to write thrilling stories. I hope your answer will help me to complete my story. Every police officer solves many cases. As we know, you have many experiences to solve the cases. Do you feel any regret about solving the cases? I mean, do you ever fail to solve a case? Have you completed every case which comes to you, or do you fail to solve any other cases? Have you completed every cases?
One murder case I could not solve. I know that is still unsolved case, but it is not still closed. Maybe someday we will do that also. But I have been lucky to solve good cases, many good cases. But yes, it is not necessary that every case gets solved. That is very much there. But you have to put your best effort.
Yeah, thank you, sir. What is the minimum days to solve a case?
See, I'm telling you one thing we should understand. investigation of a crime, particularly these kind of crimes, is nowhere close to those TV serials like CID and it's nowhere close to it. It is not. Trust me. It is very boring. It is very boring. You know what they do? वो मर्डर होता है आधे घंटे में सोल्व करके बंद हो जाता है. ऐसा नहीं होता है.
या तो पुलिस आती ही नहीं है, मर्डर के बाद आती है.
You laugh, I'm telling you. I was given a case in CBI and 3 months I was slogging like anything. इतना परिश्रम, इतना मेहनत किया, लेकिन you know what, I'm just telling you, see, all of us are human beings. मैंने साईं बाबा का मन्नत बोला और वो हमारा तिरुपति बालाजी का मन्नत बोला कि बाबा किसी तरह से केस हो जाए, मैं आऊँगा उधर दर्शन करने. You know that? The case got detected and I went there also, but it is so frustrating also sometimes. It is not that interesting that अभी बस हुआ और वो आया और ऐसे वो शर्लॉक होम्स की तरह देखा और खट 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 और उठा के, ऐसा नहीं होता है. It's very difficult sometimes. But yes, it depends on your luck, depends on your hard work, observation, and depends on the foolishness of the criminal also, like he did in writing a letter to us. Right?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, Arunji, just the last 2 questions before I end. Because you have been the transport commissioner now, you've worked with buses. There are 3 lakh accidents annually that are happening in India, claiming lives. I mean, 3 lakh lives being lost because of road accidents in India. And I'm in a city where the 2 things that are always spoken about in the same breath is gorgeous weather, terrible road situation or terrible traffic. One suggestion for people, for our cities that are struggling with traffic and also the kind of potholes that we see on Bengaluru roads that are claiming lives here. Any policy suggestion that you would like to give?
All of you are from Bangalore, no? No? बाहर से है ना? I'll ask you a question, give me the answer, honest answer please. How many of you actually use helmet for your own safety, but not for that police challan? I'm saying, if there's no police on the road, there's no compulsion, आपका चालान नहीं कटेगा, तो कितने लोग हेलमेट पहनते हैं?
कितने लोग बाइक चलाते हैं पहले दिखा दो. How many of you actually ride 2-wheelers?
बच्चे हैं, सब लोग बाइक चलाते होंगे पक्का.
Okay, almost everyone. And now show how many of you actually wear helmets for your own safety.
सच बोलना, झूठ मत बोलना. So I'm telling you that. That's what. Please, thank you. So that's what I'm telling you. It is not. It is unfortunate. It is very unfortunate. I am transport commissioner now. I am also a police officer. I have seen families getting destroyed. India is in the worst position in road safety. So many people we are losing every year. Drinking, driving, this, that. The road educates behavior. Very simple thing. वो रास्ते में लाल बत्ती जो आता है, red light. People watch for 2 things. Number 1, कैमरा है कि नहीं है. Number 2, पुलिस वाला है कि नहीं है. नहीं तो निकल लो. Right? What do I do? Who can save us? So we are trying. Of course, we are trying a lot of things. We are trying technology. We are putting cameras. We are putting this and that. But as I said, government can do its job. We are doing. I am particularly very passionate about road safety because I have seen such things happening, and I am working very hard on it. Our team is, and in Odisha, we have 5,300 people dying every year. And we are trying very hard, and I'm very hopeful. Let me tell you one thing, and you can clap for that. That Odisha, every year, the number is increasing, of course. Every year, more and more people are dying. 2022, this year, the first quarter, first time in the history, the number has come down. We had 250 less deaths than the last year in that quarter. You think about the satisfaction. That's what I was telling. Why civil services? Because last 1 year, my team and I, we are working very hard on road safety, on various things. Drinking, drunken driving, this, that. And somehow the results are coming now. So you think about the satisfaction of saving 250 people, right? And if we are able to bring down this number from 5,300 to 4,000, 3,000, 2,000, इससे बड़ा धर्म क्या होगा? Dharma, when you say, I tell my team also that very few people get a chance. You are doing something, you are getting salary, you are doing your job, and you are also doing dharma. So this is dharma. So I'm telling all of you, please follow the road safety. That's much I can tell you.
Okay, Okay, just the final question. You know, there are rotten apples in every profession. In journalism, there are just too many of them, unfortunately, currently, which is very saddening. But, you know, you have very stiff competition when it comes to your colleagues. There are the likes of officers who have been caught with crores and crores of rupees in jewelry. So there are senior officials who have amazed us all with the kind of money that has been, wealth that has been amassed and they have been caught with. But wasn't it embarrassing? I mean, they are getting caught for money. You get caught for matar chimi, for peace in your suitcase. What was that about, Mr. Bothra? And if you guys are not aware of that, do Google up and read about Mr. Arun Bothra and matar chimis and peace. Please tell us the story.
So, you will find it on Google actually. I was, actually in Odisha, the season of matar, peas, is very little. Very less actually. For 4 months we get matar, and I am very fond of matar. I'm very fond of matar. So, and my native place is Rajasthan. Jaipur somehow, you know, it is like mangoes. You know, you get hapus first, then you get some variety, then you get dasheri, then you get chosa. Because various varieties come at various places, various times. So in Jaipur, Jaipuri matar you get even till late February, March. By the time Odisha market has no matar. So I went to Jaipur to meet my parents. They are there. And while coming back, I thought, मेरा suitcase तो है. तो suitcase का सामान मैंने उधर डाल दिया सब. उसको ट्रेन से भेज देना. और मैं उसमें मटर भर लिया. In my bag. And at the Jaipur airport, they asked me to open the bag. What is in the, because I think they had some problem in this X-ray. So they asked me to open the bag, and I opened it. It was a matar. बोले यार ये क्या लेके जा रहे हो? So it went, somehow it went viral on, I think it had some 80,000 likes on Twitter.
What did you do with the peas finally? Was it pea soup, matar kachori? The Home Minister must have been happy that you brought so much of matar, I'm sure.
So that's how it went actually.
I think this has been really refreshing to hear an official talk candidly about his experience, about, you know, what policy governance should look like. And I'm sure we can go on and on with our questioning. We hope to have you back again, Mr. Arun Bothra. Thank you so much for your time. Let's have a loud round of applause.
Thank you, Smita. Thank you, everybody.
And can I call Mr. Vijay Geji, the resident director, on stage, please, sir?
One photo of him standing here with the students, you know, so that you get students and him in one frame. Yes, your mustache is more police-like in this photo. Thank you.
So thank you so much for all of you who asked your sharp questions, and to all of the students who were watching this online. And I hope you're going back with some insights. Thank you so much, Devra.